All big gamers, Feral Omen here, and I'm bringing me working on the U-Gears mechanical models build your own hurdy-gurdy kit. It is a lap guitar. You put it on your lap and you wind it. See, there's a little handle here, and then there's little finger pegs and such. And it's a medieval Renaissance style. Up in here's a good little diagram. You can see playing it and holding the thing, and this way it looks like Pete. Alright, inside the kit, we got a couple of cool things. We got a couple of rubber bands for later use. Don't forget to rosin up your bow. A little candle wax to make some of these pieces move a little easier. And of course, our hurdy-gurdy string. I've already built the hammer. Tools that'll be needed. Razor blade just for the quick use. Popping some of these pieces out is a little tedious. As you can see, different panels have different parts. Some of the inside, some of the outside. It's a little more ornate or drawn upon, carved. I'm seeing numbers up to 100 and something. Different pieces. The body. It's about how big it's going to be. About like this big. Alright. Put these off to the side. Oh, our handy dandy sandpaper. Manual, English. Remove model parts from the hanger board as illustrated below. Careful not to break parts, and if a part does not remove easily, carefully cut it out with a knife, such as the razor blade. This model is intended for self-assembly without glue. If you have difficulty installing any of the axles, try waxing them with the regular candle, and all moving parts can also be waxed during assembly to reduce friction while operating the model. Careful not to break any parts. Couple of symbols to go through. If it shows the little gear, then we wax the part with the regular candle. If it shows a little sandpaper, we sand to remove burrs. Rosin, brush over the rosin. Do not fully press outer parts together until checking for fit and alignment. So this is any time that it's got a very specific size that the internal piece does. Press the parts as far as they will go. Pay attention for correct orientation. Cut cross pieces before removing. And then there is a tool. I have to pause this for a second. Okay. Return. I had to go grab a quick little side table just in case anything was needed. Oh, and one more thing. There's this item here. It is a tool to remove pieces. And we'll get to that in just a second. that will be this piece here. Nice little tool. And then some of these inner edges might be actually used to measure things. And then there's a couple little tiny holes in here that might actually be used to measure things. And then, of course, the poke the stuff out stick. All right. First up, we're going to build one of the inner working wheels. So, we will need Alright, so it's showing these two panels. You can see what's dark means those are the pieces we're going to need. That was some of the bottom selection here of pegs. And then, of course, some of the bigger pieces here. First things first, the wheels. I imagine I probably don't want to sand too hard, just removing the burrs. If I sand too much or too hard, it's going to change the surface of the wheel, which will create a warble in the string and the noise. So we're just removing enough of the burr to where it's smooth. And I'm just feeling it to make sure that there's all the burrs removed. We've extracted our two pieces, our wheels. Good. You're not done with this piece either. We're going to need this. Alright, that panel is got all the pieces removed. Removed a couple of pieces, as you can see. We've got design on one side, probably fit together like so, or on both sides of the item. I'm thinking it's probably on both sides of the item. And then this is going to be something that goes in between that holds them like a wheel. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. All right, and then now the bottom of this, we're gonna get 8. Check, make sure you're still recording. 15 minutes, all right. We've got these pegs down here that we'll bring out. Since that's all we're going for, we can just take out the little strip of pegs. Oh, be careful with it. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, those ones came out really easy, but they didn't come out clean. So I've got to do a little touch up on them real fast. One clean. 2. 3. Oh. Nope. Much better. You can see there's lots of little pieces we got off of him. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8. You can see these are little tiny pieces that we've got. All right. Yes, I just smelled it. It smells like really fresh wood. Gonna get some music going in the meantime. Alright, so we've got our different pieces. Oh, never cleaned these up. A little TLC. Alright. It says to put the two arrows pointing towards each other. As you can see, there are two tiny little arrows right there on the bottom. It's number 1 and number 2. One on this side, 2 on this side. And then that goes like this, alright? Those are nice and straight. Now it instructs me to put pegs in. Oh, and something worth noting. One peg hole is actually bigger than the other one. As a demonstration, here is the size of that one. Here is the size of that one. And you can see it's just a tiny fraction bigger. And that's because this is tapered. Alright, just simple push, I made it in. Let's do the ones opposing each other just to make sure it's all aligned correctly. Since some of these are kind of tight-fitting, as you push the wood through, Be kind of careful. On the other side, it'll kind of splinter a little if it catches it and pushes through. And if you hadn't noticed, there's a very tiny little sliver of a cut in the dead center. And what that is that's a relief, so as it pushes in, it closes it, making pressure, locking the piece in. Make sure they're all as snug as can be. This is a section where it needs to be as snug as can be. And they want us to take and on the edge just kind of smooth the whole thing out. Just a little bit. Not much. Making sure. Because this is what rubs the string. Soften the outer edge on this so it doesn't cut the string a little. From that sharp machine cut. And this is also something I believe that gets waxed. Sanded, cut. No, it hasn't mentioned anything about waxing that. But that is nice and convincingly smooth. And even. No weird little lines. The edges aren't too sharp. Next up, we're making the spindle. So, we take our number 6 piece. And a number 7 piece, put them together. As you can see, makes a nice little which you can already tell is gonna fit in there. Breaking out our wax, looks like it's about time. As you can see, just a tiny little candle. And to make this assisted go in a little easier, clean up a burr or two. This piece is going to slide in, so we're waxing it in order to make sure alright, on one side I'm going to put one of these pieces here, and we want to match it obviously If you put it like over here, it's not matching, etc. One side does match the outer reveal, and you can see that it goes right in perfectly and gets through. Okay, hold on. We're gonna get this piece on here first. No more wax. Try not to hit it too hard. Little wiggle. This goes all the way on, right? Yes. Yeah, there's obviously little hooks here that it goes to. And all the designs show it really close up in there. Trying to make sure I'm not forcing it. Woo! All right. It's a little bit thicker of a piece. So I'm gonna hit a little harder to try and get it past that little notch. Oh. Oh no. Son of a... Ugh. Oh. Oh no. Oh, thank God. It's this piece going in that orientation with this that I was supposed to put on. Well, nothing broken. You live and you learn. And that second one went on a little bit easier. Now that the path has been made. Oh, beautiful. Stare deeply into the mesmerizing. And then the other one just goes on the other side. Those are all in as possible. We now have a wheel. This is the wheel that the string goes over, so as you wind the crank, it goes, right? It makes that noise too. You hear it? Alright, next section, we've got a couple of cogs. Some smaller cogs and wheels and gears. Alright, holding the design in the proper direction, it'll be this top number one here is 11. Down over here, there's another one, number 10. We're gonna have to pop this whole panel out. Discarded pieces. 10, 11. Oh, if you thought this was going to be a quick video, I'm expecting it to be at least an hour to two. We'll probably have to break it up into 2 sections. Alright, as the design had shown, we left a couple of pieces in here still. Put that off to the side with our growing pile of small stuff. Cog, 3 bigger. Yeah. Alright, and then out of one of these is another panel set. The top on here. Our big one here and here, and then two very tiny pegs. Tool for pegs. Two pegs. Everything we have removed thus far. And then we go after our top pieces. Oh. All right. We have our pieces, so 8 is the bigger ones. And let's clean up some of these burrs real fast.
Some likes on my Tiny Tacos post. Phone's heating up a bit here. You liked my Tiny Tacos? So they're back for good at Jack in the Box. Grab a box of 15 or try them loaded. Get them delivered today. Participation may vary. Delivery prices may be higher and subject to fees.
Alright, first we take our piece and it shows us putting wheels on both sides. First the big ones. And the small one. As such, you can see we added these little rings here. Alright, next it instructs us. The short side goes into here. Oh. We're waxing this so that way. Nice little into it. I'm realizing what it's going to end up doing. It's going to have to pivot inside of the little hole. So as we put short one in here, let's get that kind of wax spread around a little bit. There we go. That's some free spinning action. Alright, and on the other side, the top hole, plot this one. Hey, glad I waxed them both because that's pretty. Alright, and then before I put that piece on, I guess I should secure this one down. This is the number 10. Goes around it. So that way it locks it in place. And then over that, this piece to lock it in. the other piece goes on. And over the top of that. Alright. We now have gear on that side, gear on that side, and a spinning mechanism. Oh, and then to make sure that those come off, so there's pegs here, right? We drive the peg in. Goes in smooth, flush, wedge that bastard on there. There was at the very edge of these last wood dowels coming up, there's a little curve on it, a little hook. So when